The first thing you need to understand is that Ifa is not a religion. It is spiritual because it deals with the nature and natural forces of the universe. So please know and learn the misconceptions that everyone is putting on Google and everywhere else, because a lot of them are doing it from a Lukumi and a Santeria 21 division standpoint. Now, if we're going to be all the way honest, which we are, it is nothing wrong with you following those traditions, but the natural base, because I'm noticing that Ifa and African tradition does not get its credit. It's almost like a lot of people are getting into this tradition with bad character. And the first thing that Ifa teaches everyone is Iwa Puele. So while you're going through this transformation, you are having blockages, road blockages out of the norm. You're going to have so much come up in your face that you have had hidden, because Olokun is the Orisha of taking everything from the depths of your soul, besides the one over your psychic abilities. He is going to bring everything to the forefront. Nana Baluku is going to make you heal all wounds. Ifa is the Orisha that does not have any type of special gifts per se. He is the one that his gift is wisdom, okay? Stop letting people tell you that Abatala is the original creator. He is not. Stop allowing for certain, because they'll tell you it's a Sobo in Lukumi and Santeria, when actuality it is not. And that's the word for warnings. The real term for warnings in Yoruba is ikilo, okay? Ikilo. Understand that it is so much that has been destroyed in this spirituality, and people are not taking the time to study it. People are not taking the time to really know the attributes of the Orishas. People are not really taking the time and really teaching folks. People are not really taking the time to show people the true aspect of Ifa. And when you learn these Orikis, that you cannot take them in a literal sense. When you are first getting into Ifa, the first thing that you will need to do is get a reading. Okay, some people do Idefa, some people do Mary Delagrune readings, okay? But you need a reading. The main reason why is because if you have a good Babalawo or a Yanifa that is doing your readings, okay, understand that they should be able to tell you if you're supposed to be in the spirituality, because they're supposed to read that, okay? Not just take your money and tell you what Ebo that you need to do. And we'll talk about that in a second. The first thing that you're supposed to get is 2 Odus. A Babalawo and a Yanifa is supposed to drop the Odu twice each time that they're reading a question, or any time that they're actually reading. When they're chanting Odus, there are certain things that we have to chant and much more. Now, when you get your Odu, there is an Oriki that we must say, or some people call it proverb or whatever, that we must say to know what is going on in your destiny. Now, in Santeria and Lukumi, they will teach you that you have many quote-unquote patakis. Well, in actuality, right, you can use, because there's sometimes, especially for beginners of Yanifas and Babalawos, in Yoruba tradition, the true tradition, if you learn one pataki or riki or whatever the case may be, right, you can actually use that same oriki in everything, and a different situation will show up every time you mention this story. Now, because of people not being able to explain what is going on properly with the story. A lot of times they go on the basic topic of the story. So meaning an example with this would look like this. A fish went down the water and it turned left, it turned right, it turned left, it turned right, and they had to make a decision. The decision was is if it turns left, it can be its downfall. If it turns right, it can be abundance. The fish decides to turn right and goes down its downfall. Now, a lot of Babalawos and Yanifas in this tradition will literally tell you that your life is at a downward spiral because you're going right, when actuality, they should be going deeper into the teachings of what that Odu represents. With the Odu, you are supposed to know the deeper knowledge behind of what it explains. So if we're going to do that, it should look more like you had an opportunity and a path where you had a choice to make a left or right. If you do not choose the path correctly, this is your demise. But because you chose right in the first place, this is where your downward spiral is, because you chose this. This is self-inflicted. Everything is done by your hands due to the way that you think and what you do not do to connect yourself with. See the difference? Also, when you get a reading, you are supposed to be either on the mat, or if you're doing it online, you actually need to be on the call. There is no way in heck, unless they are reading certain questions for you, that you, for your first initial reading, should not be on the mat. You must be able to pray over your reading. You must be able to tell us who your mother's name is. And that's another thing. A lot of them don't read and ask the child of the mother. That's Yoruba tradition. If you're going to do it right. The problem is a lot of people steal the tradition and falsify the education, and then don't even take the time to learn the Yoruba terms properly. So it's very important to understand what you are destined to do. They should tell you what your destiny is. They should tell you what your Ebo is. Your Ebo is the prescription of what is going on in your life. In your reading, every reading gets an Ebo, baby. That's why it's very important that you have the proper prescription. And not all the times is it going to be roosters, chickens. Do not let them lie to you about that, because a lot of them don't want to do. They just want quick money. I'm not sorry for being honest and teaching you all the truth. The problem is a lot of you all are so gullible and do not research, nor do you care to research. You watch video after video after video after video, and then you're like, okay, well, I need this because this is going to help. No, you need to see what they're teaching, what they stand for, what's their principles. You also need to see how many people are actually hating their energy and talk bad about them, because a lot of the ones that actually have a bad rep or decent ones, and the ones that actually have hold on, let me rephrase that. You got some good ones that's got bad reps because of people didn't want to change. And I can actually vouch for that, because I was one that was told a whole bunch of ish and was lied upon, and I am working in my higher power. So I like to be brutally honest. I'm going to call you out on everything. So if you're going to be in Ifa, and especially if you come through me, baby, understand, I'm going to call your flaws out. I'm going to call you what you really are. I'm going to talk about the energy that you work in. I'm going to hurt your feelings because I want you to elevate. I'm not going to pretend to be your friend and tell you unicorns, moon, stars, and everything else. Understand, Ifa is deeper than just making you feel good. It's change and transformation. Make sure you can